Dynasty of Amshuman. So in this chapter, Mother Ganges delivers the sons of Maharaj Sagar. That is the first 11 verses. Then next 12 to 15, power of the worship of Mother Ganga. That. Then 16 to 39, the story of Saudas. Okay. And then 40 to 49, the story of Maharaja Khatwang, very famous. And then the 43 to 49, Khatwang Maharaj's introspection on the Supreme Lord. Okay. So this way, there are 49 shlokas in this chapter. This chapter describes the history of the dynasty of Amshuman up to Khatwang. And it also describes how Bhagirath brought the water of the Ganges to this earth. The son of Maharaj Anshuman. So this Anshuman, Maharaj Sagar went, he gave kingdom to Amshuman. So the son of Maharaj Amshuman was Dilip, who tried to bring the Ganges to this world but who died without success. Bhagirath, the son of Dilip, was determined to bring the Ganges to the material world, and for this purpose he went under severe austerities. Mother Ganges, being fully satisfied by his austerities, made herself visible to him, wanting to give him a benediction. Bhagirath then asked her to deliver his forefathers. Although Mother Ganges agreed to come down to earth, she made two conditions. First, she wanted some suitable male to be able to control her waves. Second, although all sinful men would be freed from sinful reactions by bathing in the Ganges, Mother Ganges did not want to keep all these sinful reactions, because everybody will come and they will take bath in Ganga. So all the sin of these sinful people will be there in the Ganga. They will live in the Ganga. So but Mother Ganges did not want that. Second, so that was although all sinful men would be freed from sinful reactions by bathing in the Ganges, Mother Ganges did not want to keep all these sinful reactions. So these two conditions were Ganges did not want to keep. These two conditions were subject matters for consideration. See, I will not keep. So Bhagirath replied to Mother Ganges, the personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva, will be completely able to control the waves of your water. And this is important, and when pure devotees bathe in your water, the sinful reactions left by sinful men will be counteracted. So, Tirtham Kurvanti Tirthani, even the Ganges is being purified by the pure devotees. So, when all the sinful people go and they take bath in Ganges, they leave all the sin there. So, that is with Ganga. So, how Ganga gets purified then? When pure devotees go and they take bath in the Ganga, then Ganga become purified. Bhagavatam is saying. And these are the glories of pure devotees. Right? Gangara parasya hoile pasyate pavan darshane ko pavitra karo yehi tumhara gun. That's the glories of pure devotees. That for Ganga, you have to go to Ganga and take bath, then only will be pure. But if you just see a pure devotee, then you are pure. You don't have to go and take bath. In Ganga you have to take bath, then after that you will be purified. But in case of pure devotee, you just see him. Even his darshan will purify you. So these are the glories of pure devotees. Bhagirath then performed austerities to satisfy Lord Shiva, who is called Ashutosh because he is naturally satisfied very easily. Lord Shiva agreed to Bhagirath's proposal to check the force of the Ganges. In this way, simply by the touch of the Ganges, Bhagirath's forefathers were delivered and allowed to go to the heavenly planets. The son of Bhagirath was Sruta. The son of Sruta was Nav, and Nav's son was Sindhudvipa. The son of Sindhudvipa was Ayutayu, and the son of Ayutayu was Rituparna, who was a friend of Nal. Rituparna gave Nal the art of gambling and learned from him the art of Ashwavidya. The son of Rituparna was known as Sarvakama. The son of Sarvakama was Sudasa, and his son was Saudas. Sudas' son was Saudas. The wife of Saudas was named Damayanti or Madhyanti, and Saudas was also known as Kalmashpad. Because of some, so wife name was Damayanti, Saudas' wife name was Damayanti or Madhyanti, and Saudas' another name was Kalmashpad. Because of some defect in his fruitive activities, Saudas was cursed by Vasishtha to become a Rakshasa. While walking through the forest, he saw a Brahmana engaged in sex with his wife, and because he had become a Rakshasa, he wanted to devour the Brahmana. Although the Brahmana's wife pleaded with him in many ways, Saudas devoured the Brahmana, and the wife therefore cursed him, saying, "As soon as you engage in sex, you will die." After 12 years, therefore, even though Saudas was released from the curse of Vasishtha Muni, he remained sonless. At that time, with Saudas' permission, Vasishtha impregnated Saudas' wife, Madhyanti. Because Madhyanti was a child for many years but still could not give birth, Vasishtha struck her abdomen with a stone, and thus his son was born. The son was named Ashmaka. The son of Ashmaka was known as Balik. He was protected from the curse of Parashuram because of being surrounded by many women, and therefore he is also known as Nari Kavach. When the entire world was devoid of Kshatriyas, he became the original father of more Kshatriyas. He is therefore sometimes called Maluk. From Balik, Dashrath was born. From Dashrath came Aidavidi, and from Aidavidi came Vishwasaha. The son of Vishwasaha was Maharaj Khatwang. Maharaj Khatwang joined the demigods in fighting the demons and was victorious, and the demigods therefore wanted to give him a benediction. But when the king inquired how long he would live and understood that his life would last only a few seconds more, he immediately left the heavenly planets and returned to his own abode by airplane. He could understand that everything in this material world is insignificant, and thus he fully engaged in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. Okay, so that are the summary. 9.1. 9th Canto, Chapter 9, Text 1. Sri Shuka Vacha Amshumamsha tapastepe Ganga Nayan Kamaya Kalam Mahantam Nashknota Tatha Kalena Samsitaha. Sri Shuka Vacha, Sri Shukdev Goswami said, Amshuman, the king named Amshuman Cha, also Tapatepe executed Ashwati Ganga, the Ganges, Anayan Kamaya, with the desire to bring the Ganges to this material world to deliver his forefathers. Kalam, time, Mahantam, for a long duration, not Ashaknot was successful. Tatha, thereafter, Kalena, in due course of time, Samstitaha, died. Shukdev Goswami continued, King Anshuman, like his grandfather, performed austerities for a very long time. Nonetheless, he could not bring the Ganges to this material world, and thereafter, in due course of time, he died. So Anshuman could not bring Ganga down. Then, Dilipas Tatsutas Tadvat Ashakta Kalam Ivivan Bhagiratas Tasya Sutas Tepe Sa Sumahat Tapaha. Dilipa, named Dilip Tatsutaha, the son of Amshuman Tatvat, like his father Ashakta, being unable to bring the Ganges to the material world, Kalam Ivan became a victim of time and died. Bhagirata Tasya Sutaha, his son Bhagirat Tepe executed penance. Saha he Sumahat, very great tapashati. Like Amshuman himself, Dilip, his son, was unable to bring the Ganges to this material world, and he also became a victim of death in due course of time. Then Dilip's son Bhagirat performed very severe austerities to bring the Ganges to this material world. Darshayam asatam devi prasanna varadashmi te iti ukta swam abhiprayam Shashma Swanato Nirpaha Darshyamas appeared tam unto him King Bhagirath Devi Mother Ganges Prasanna being very much satisfied. Varda Asmi, I shall bless with my benediction Te unto you Iti Uktaha, thus being addressed. Swam his own Avi Prayam desire Sasham explained Avanata very respectfully bowing down Nirpaha the king Bhagirath. Thereafter, so now Bhagirath did a nice tapasya and Mother Ganges came. So thereafter Mother Ganges appeared before King Bhagirath and said, I am very much satisfied with your austerities and I am now prepared to give you benedictions as you desire. So being thus addressed by Ganga Devi, Mother Ganges, the king bowed his head before her and explained his desire. So the king's desire was to deliver his forefathers who had been burned to ashes because of disrespecting Kapil Muni. Kopi dharayita vegam patantya me mahitale अन्यथा भूतलम भित्वा नृपयास्ये रसातलम. Kaha, who is that person? Api, indeed, dharita, who can sustain vegam, the force of the waves, patantaya, while falling down me, apmi mahitale, upon this earth, anyatha, otherwise bhutalam, the surface of the earth, bhitva, piercing nirpa, O king, yasya, I shall go down rasatalam to patal, the lower part of the universe. Mother Ganges replied, when I fall from the sky to the surface of the planet Earth, the water will certainly be very forceful. Who will sustain that force? If I am not sustained, I shall pierce the surface of the earth and go down to Rasatal, the Patal area of the universe. Okay. So this is the now further problem that who will hold Ganga, because if it comes, so much force will be there and will pierce the earth and it will go down to the Rasatal and Patal. Okay. Text 5. Kim chamna bhuvam yasye naramai amrijanti agham mirjami tad agham kvaham rajam statra vichintayatam. Kimcha, also aham, I not bhuvam, to the planet earth, yase, shall go, narah, the people in general, mai, in me, in my water, Amarjanti, cleans agam, the reactions of their sinful activities. Mirjami, I shall wash that agam, accumulation of sinful reaction. Kava, unto whom aham, I. Rajan, O king, tatra, on this fact. Vichintayatam, please consider carefully and decide. O king, I do not wish to go down to the planet earth, Gangaji said. Why? For there are people in general will bathe in my water to cleanse themselves of the reaction of their sinful deeds. When all these sinful reactions accumulate in me, how shall I become free from them? You must consider this very carefully. Two problems. One, when I come down, who will hold? Second, everybody will come, when I will be on earth, everybody will come and take bath and release all the sin here with me. What I will do with the sin? I don't want those sins. I do not want the earth people to misuse me for washing up their sins, so please consider some method of washing them away. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender to me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. The Supreme Personality of Godhead can accept the reactions of anyone's sinful deeds and neutralize them because he is pavitra, pure, like the sun, which is never contaminated by any worldly infection. So Prabhupada is saying here that Lord is like sun. So sun purifies everything and does not get impure. So similarly, Lord is also pure, and anyone who comes in touch of the Lord, that person also becomes pure. Okay. So sometimes people feel that if I do this, what will happen? If I do that, what will happen? So that's okay. But whatever situation is, as soon as one comes in the connection with the Lord, in connection with the bhakti, he becomes pure. His purification starts. Teji yasham na doshaya vahane sarva bhujo yatha. One who is very powerful is not affected by any sinful activity. But here we see that Mother Ganges fears being burdened with the sins of the people in general who would bathe in her waters. So Mother Ganga herself is having this fear that what will happen. Okay. Okay. This indicates, so Mother Ganga herself, she is so powerful, but so powerful people should not worry, but Mother Ganga is worrying that what will happen when all the people will come and release their sin. So this indicates that no one but the Supreme Personality of God is able to neutralize the reactions of sinful deeds without whether one's own or those of others. Only Krishna having this power of neutralizing the sinful reaction, nobody else. Sometimes the spiritual master, after accepting disciple, must take charge of the disciple's past sinful activities, and being overloaded must sometimes suffer, if not fully, then partially, for the sinful acts of the disciple. So if a disciple does any sinful act, his guru will suffer sometimes. Every disciple, therefore, must be very careful not to commit sinful activities after initiation. So that's very dangerous, because after initiation, anybody does anything wrong, that will affect his guru. So the poor spiritual master is kind and merciful enough to accept a disciple and partially suffer for that disciple's sinful activities. But Krishna, being merciful to his servant, neutralizes the reactions of sinful deeds for the servant who engages in preaching his glories. So if a person is preaching the message of Krishna, for him Krishna will neutralize the reaction of the sinful deeds. Even Mother Ganges feared the sinful reactions of the people in general and was anxious about how she would counteract the burden of these sins. So Mother Ganga is saying that they will wash off their sins in me. So you must think of a method of purifying me of their sins. So sin means the suffering of the mind born from not having a taste for associating with the Lord. So the Ganga is famous for destroying millions of serious sins. Okay, but Ganga herself is having this anxiety that how her, when everybody will release the sin, what will happen to her? How she will get rid of all those sins. Shri Bhagirath Vacha Sadhvo Nyasina Shanta Brahmishtha Loka Pavana Haranti Agamte Angasanga Teshu Aste Agabhidharihi. Sri Bhagirath Vacha, Bhagirath said, Sadhva, saintly persons, Nyasinaha, sannyasis, Santaha, peaceful, free from material disturbances, Brahmishta, expert in following the regulative principles of Vedic scriptures, Loka Pavana, who are engaged in delivering the entire world from a fallen condition, Haranti shall remove Agam, the reactions of sinful life, Te of you, Mother Ganges, Anga Sangat, by bathing in the Ganges water, Teshu, within themselves, Aste, there is he indeed, Aga, the Supreme Personality, who can vanquish all sinful activities, Harihi, the Lord. Bhagirath said, those who are saintly because of devotional service and are therefore in the renounced order free from material desires, and who are pure devotees, expert in following the regulative principles mentioned in the Vedas, are always glorious and pure in behavior and are able to deliver all fallen souls. So, when such pure devotees bathe in your water, the sinful reactions accumulated from other people will certainly be counteracted, for such devotees always keep in the core of their hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead who can vanquish all sinful reactions. Very nice. So, when pure devotees will bathe in your water, the sinful reaction will be eradicated. So, Mother Ganges is available to everyone for bathing. Therefore, not only will sinful persons bathe in the Ganges water, but in Haridwar and other holy places where the Ganges flow, saintly persons and devotees will also bathe in the waters of the Ganges. Devotees and saintly persons advanced in the renounced order can deliver even the Ganges. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani swantah sthena gadavrita. Because saintly devotees always keep the Lord within the core of their hearts, they can perfectly cleanse the holy places of all sinful reactions. So even the holy places like Ganga or other dham, they are getting cleansed by the presence of the pure devotees. But some misfortune, some unfortunate people, they go to holy places and they just take bath and come back. They don't they do not utilize the opportunity to hear from these pure devotees. So when somebody go to holy place, he should not only take bath and take darshan, but the dham yatra is completed only when you are hearing from some pure devotee. They are sitting in the dham. Then only it will be completed. Therefore, people in general must always respectfully honor saintly persons. So, saintly persons are that much powerful that they even purifying Ganga. So, general people should give much respect. Always they should respect the saintly person. It is ordered that as soon as one sees a Vaishnava or even a sannyasi, one should immediately offer respects to such a holy man. If one forgets to show respect in this way, one must observe a fast for that day. So, if a person sees a Vaishnava or a sannyasi, then immediately one should offer respect, pranam, something. If one forgets to do that, that day he should fast. This is a Vedic injunction. One must be extremely careful to refrain from committing offense at the lotus feet of a devotee or saintly person. So even Prabhupada said, any sannyasi you see, you just offer pranam. Okay. So this is a Vedic injunction. One must be extremely careful to refrain from committing offenses at the lotus feet of a devotee or saintly person. It's very dangerous to commit offense. So there are methods of prashitta or atonement, but they are inadequate to cleanse one of sinful reactions. One can be cleansed of sinful reaction only. One can be cleansed of sinful reactions only by devotional service, as stated in regard to the history of Ajamila. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudev parayanagam dhunvanti kartasneyena niharam iva bhaskaraha. Only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. Okay. So any person who can be cleansed of sinful action, so what he need to do? He just need to perform Krishna Bhakti, like Ajamila case. So a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotion to Krishna, he can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility. They will actually generally the weeds in the field, if you cut them, they will come up. But if you uproot them, then it is very good. So this desire for sinful action or sense gratification, this desire itself can be uprooted by the help of bhakti. Okay, so once this is done, the weeds of sinful actions are uprooted, then there is no possibility that they will revive, because when the root is remaining, then it will revive. Okay, so bhakti, what it will do, it will uproot it. So he can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. So analogy is given by sun. If sun comes, all the fog is immediately dissipated. Okay. So just by performing devotional service, bhakti to Krishna, all the sinful actions can be eradicated. So if one is under the protection of a devotee and sincerely renders service unto him, by this process of bhakti yoga, one is currently available to if one is under the protection of a devotee and sincerely renders service unto him, by this process of bhakti yoga, one is certainly able to counteract all sinful reactions. So that is why it is recommended that everybody should perform bhakti under a bona fide spiritual master's guidance. So if one is doing just by his own idea, then it will not be very helpful. But if under a devotee's guidance, under the some guru, some nice devotee is guiding him, then the process of bhakti yoga will certainly help him, and he will be able to counteract all sinful reactions just by it. Okay, so under the guidance of a nice, perfect, pure devotee, bhakti should be performed. Okay. धारिष्यति ते वेगम रुद्रस्तव आत्म शरीरिणाम यस्मिन् ओतम इदम प्रोतम विश्वम सात्तीव तंतुषु. Dharishyati will sustain te your vegam force to the way Rudra, Lord Shiva, too indeed Atma, the super soul, Sharirinam of all embodied souls, Yasmin, in whom Otam is situated in its longitude, Idam, this whole universe, Protam, latitude, Vishwam, the whole universe, Shati, a cloth, Iva, as Tantushu, in threads. Like a cloth woven of threads extending for its length and breadth, this entire universe in all its latitude and longitude is situated under different potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is the incarnation of the Lord, and thus he represents the super soul in the embodied soul. He can sustain your forceful waves on his head. Bhagirath is saying that Lord Shiva is powerful, he can do that. So, the water of the Ganges is supposed to rest on the head of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who sustains the entire universe by different potencies. So, Lord Shiva is one of the Guna avatar. Lord Shiva is described in the Brahma Samhita. क्षीरम यथा दधि विकार विशेष योगात संजायते नाही तथा पृथक अस्ति हेतयो शंभुताम अपि तथा समुपैति कार्याद गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. Okay, milk changes into yogurt when mixed with a yogurt culture, but actually yogurt is constitutionally nothing but milk. Similarly, Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, assumes the form of Lord Shiva for the special purpose of material transactions. I offer my obeisances at Lord Govinda's lotus feet. Okay, so like the milk from milk comes curd. So similarly, from Govinda comes Rudra. It's like that. So when little impurity is added in the milk, it becomes curd. So similarly, the material energy when is touched, that is Shiva. So Lord Shiva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the same sense that yogurt is also milk, although in the same time it is not milk. Okay, like that. For the maintenance of the material world, there are three incarnations: Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. Lord Shiva is Vishnu. Lord Shiva is Vishnu in an incarnation for the mode of ignorance. The material world exists predominantly in the mode of ignorance. Therefore, Lord Shiva is compared here to the longitude and latitude of the entire universe, which resembles a cloth woven of threads extending for both its length and breadth. इति युक्त्वा स नृपो देवं तपसा तोषाय च शिवं कालेनालपीयसा राजं तस्येषश्चास्व अतुष्ययत्. इति युक्त्वा, after saying this, saha he Nirpada king Bhagirath Devam unto Lord Shiva tapsa by executing austerities, atoshayat please Shivam Lord Shiva the all auspicious, Kalena by time, Alipayasa which was not very long, Rajan O king, Tasya upon him, Bhagirath Isha Lord Shiva, Cha indeed, Asu very soon, Atushayat became satisfied. After saying this, Bhagirath satisfied Lord Shiva by performing austerities. O King Parikshit, Lord Shiva was very quickly satisfied with Bhagirath. Okay. The word Ashu Atushayat indicate the Lord Shiva that Lord Shiva was satisfied very soon. Therefore, another name for Lord Shiva is Ashutosh. Materialistic persons become attached to Lord Shiva because Lord Shiva bestows benediction upon anyone and everyone very quickly, not caring to know how his devotees prosper or suffer. Although materialistic persons know that material happiness is nothing, but another side of suffering, they want it. Although materialistic persons know that material happiness is nothing but another side of suffering, just another way, a good way of presenting suffering, that's happiness. So, but still they want it, and to get it very quickly, they worship Lord Shiva. We find that materialists are generally devotees of many demigods, especially Lord Shiva and Mother Durga. They do not actually want spiritual happiness, for it almost unknown to them. So many people, they don't know about the spiritual perfection, so they just, for material benefit, money and all, they go to Lord Shiva and Durga. But if one is serious about being happy spiritually, he must take shelter of Lord Vishnu as the personally Papebhyo mokshasayishyami ma shuchaha. Okay, so actually it happens sometimes that many people, if you tell them to worship Krishna, they feel, oh, how if I worship Krishna, whether Krishna will give me or not. But Lord Shiva gives very easily. Lord Shiva feels, okay, why you are disturbing me, go, whatever you want to take away. Okay, so this way many people are not serious about Krishna Bhakti, but they are serious about Lord Shiva's devotion and Durga. So if anybody is serious about being happy spiritually, he must take shelter of Lord Vishnu, because Lord Vishnu personally demands Sarvadharman Tartyaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja Ham Tam Sarpapebhyo Mokshishami Masuchaha. So Krishna is saying that abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Okay, so that is Krishna's promise that if you surrender completely unto me, then I will take care of all the sinful reactions, and Masuchaha, do not fear. Tatheti ragyabhihitam sarvalokahitah shiva dadhara vahito gangam padaputo jalam hare tatha. Let it be so. Iti thus ragya abhihitam, having been addressed by the king Bhagirath, sarvalokahita, the personality of Godhead who is always auspicious to everyone. Shivaha, Lord Shiva, Dadhara, sustain Avahita with great attention. Gangam, the Ganges, Pada, Puta, Jalam, Hare, whose water is transcendental pure because of emanating from the toes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. When King Bhagirath approached Lord Shiva and requested him to sustain the forceful waves of the Ganges, Lord Shiva accepted the proposal by saying, let it be so. Then, with great attention, he sustained the Ganges on his head, for the water of the Ganges is purifying, having emanated from the toes of Lord Vishnu. So, that is another thing. If some people may think that Lord Shiva is greater or Vishnu is greater, because Ganga is nothing but the Charanamrit, you can say, of Lord Vishnu. So why a person will carry that on the heads? But still Lord Shiva accepted. Okay, so that's the Lord Shiva's glory, that he is the devotee among all the he is the best devotee. Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. Okay, so then with great attention he sustained the Ganges on his head, for the water of the Ganges is purifying, having emanated from the toes of Lord Vishnu. So he understood that Ganges water is very pure, it is coming directly from the feet of Lord Vishnu, so I must carry. Okay. Bhagiratha sa rajarshir ninye bhuvana pavanim yatra swapitranam deha bhashmi bhuta ismaserate. Bhagirath, King Bhagirath, Sahi Rajrishi, the great saintly king, Ninye carried or brought Bhuvan Pavani, Mother Ganges, who can deliver the holy universe. Yatra, in that place where Swapitranam of his forefather, Deha, the bodies, Bhashmi Bhuta, having been burned to ashes, Isma Sherate, were lying. The great and saintly king Bhagirath brought the Ganges, which can deliver all the fallen souls, to the place on earth when the bodies of his forefathers, where the bodies of his forefathers lay burnt to ashes. So in this way, Gangaji came. Rathena Vayu Vegena Parayantam Anudhavati Deshan Punanti Nirdagdhan Ashina Chata Sagaratmajam. Rathena, on a chariot, Vayu Vegena, driving at the speed of the wind. Prayantam, Maharaj Bhagirath, who was going in front. Ambudhavati, running after. Desham, all the countries. Punanti, sanctifying. Nirdagdhan, who had been burned to ashes. Ashinchar, sprinkled over. Sagar Atmajam, the sons of Sagar. Bhagirath mounted a swift chariot. So now Gangaji came. Now Bhagirath mounted a swift chariot and drove before Mother Ganges, who followed him. So he was going, and then Mother Ganges were following the path created by Bhagirath, purifying many countries until they reached the ashes of Bhagirath's forefathers, the sons of Sagar. So in this way, Bhagirath went and Gangaji followed. So he went where the ashes of his forefathers were there. So the sons of Sagara, 60,000 sons of Sagar, who was thus sprinkled with water from the Ganges. Okay. So in this way, Gangaji, following the Bhagirath's chariot, purified many countries until they reached the ashes of Bhagirath's forefather. So in this way, the Ganges water was sprinkled and all these were purified. Okay. So now this is the story of how Gangaji comes down. So there are some more details in that, which tomorrow I will explain, and shloka number 12 onwards we will do tomorrow. So we will discuss tomorrow first the full process of Gangaji coming down. Okay, and then we will also discuss the power of worship of Gangaji. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Anand Kodi Vaishnavvrind ki jai.